Hi, today we're going to have a small tutorial on how to make Mexican rice, or as I grew up calling it, Arroz, Mexicano. Okay, basically what you want to do is you want to get a pan screaming hot, okay? And then you want to fill it with oil. I know you're thinking, God, what is she doing? No, but seriously, you need to fill the bottom of the, you're not going to deep fry, but you're going to seriously saute this rice. And you want to just pour oil in the pan until the bottom of the pan is just covered. And give me that, right, baby?
Lid?
Don't worry about the lid. And here, open up this can of tomatoes for me. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take rice. And this to me is not an exact science, but I've had friends just get hysterical saying that they can't make rice. And they want to know how I make my rice. So basically, I just take white rice, long grain white rice, and when that oil is hot, you can tell by putting in a grain of rice. There you go. It's screaming hot. The oil's hot too. So basically, you want to put a thin layer of rice on the bottom of the pan to cover. And then, what you're going to do after that is you're going to let it go. See how it's already bubbling and frying? Now you're going to let it go. Okay? Just let it go. And you're going to let it go and saute until it looks like hay. You know, some are going to be dark brown, some are going to be golden, some are still going to be white, some are going to be the color of wheat. But you want some toastiness. That color on the rice grains is flavor. So basically, you want that. So you just wait, and you wait it out. Okay, and we're back. And you see how the salt has taken color? Can you see that? Now at this point, you have two options. You can leave the grease, which a lot of people do, and it's common. When you go to a Mexican food restaurant, you know, where the waitresses don't speak English, they're old school, you know, and they tend to leave the grease in because typically those Mexican food cooks are the ones who learned how to make rice from their grandma and are sticking with their recipes. Me, I'm not cool eating all that grease, so you can just pour it wherever you need to pour it, and it's going to come back up to temperature. Thank you, babe. And then what you're going to add at this point, where is it? Going to add some garlic. And now remember, every time you add something to the pan, it's going to bring down that temperature a little. And that was just maybe 2 cloves of minced garlic. And then I am going to add an entire can, a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice. Thank you, baby. And let's see here. And then you're kind of going to let that go for a minute. And you also have to remember that tomatoes have no flavor, and every time you add something to the dish, you have to season along the way. Every time you add something new to the pan, season along the way. Come on, baby. So I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of salt. And you're going to see me adding salt, and you're going to go, whoa. You know, I'm going to swell up, and I'm going to bloat, and I'm going to get high blood pressure. But you need it. Trust me, this is a lot of rice we're making. And then just a couple of tablespoons, literally a couple of tablespoons of garlic powder. No, I'm not a lunatic, trust me. And then you let that cook down. And at this point, you're kind of toasting the garlic powder. And yes, I used garlic powder and minced garlic. I'm kind of seasoning the tomatoes a little bit. Okay. And then another thing at this point that you add, and stir all you like at this point. Seriously, stir all you like. And then at this point, you're going to add a 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Not spaghetti sauce. Oops, sorry. Not spaghetti sauce. Don't make that mistake. You can use they make seasoned in San Antonio, because San Antonio is predominantly Hispanic. Thank you. We have a lot of crazy Mexican food. So we have all kinds of different seasoned tomatoes and seasoned tomato sauces and stuff. Or, you know, you can make your own. And basically, you make your own seasoned tomato sauce by heating up a small 8-ounce can of plain tomato sauce and adding your cumin and your garlic powder and your salt to it. But basically, you let that heat up because you really don't get the blossoming of the seasonings until the food is hot. Nothing is harder to season than cold food. You want to always season your food while it is warm. Now, keep in mind, I don't normally like to add salt to my food. I like to cook with a lot of spices and a lot of flavors so that, you know, other folks can make the determination for themselves. And my mother-in-law doesn't like salt. She eats 1, you know, quarter teaspoon of salt and she swells up like the Goodyear blimp. And she loves my cooking. So basically, you see how it's kind of, it's wet, but it's still kind of dry, you know, kind of, it looks kind of like a stew. It's kind of stoopy looking. What is that? Stew soup. So basically, you get that heated through. Oh, dude, that is so good. Okay. Then from here, what you're going to do, I add chicken broth a lot of the time. I make my own. And I buy. So, oh, sweetie, can you open these up for me? Open up those. So basically, and here's a little tip on the rice you're going to use. On the liquid you're going to use. Basically, you're going to take your, let me do it on a wooden spoon so you can see that better. Basically, you want to add, to assure that your rice cooks all the way through.
Drain?
Yes, please. Basically, you want to add 2 fingers of liquid over and above the rice. So you take a wooden spoon, okay, and you put it in. Oh, no, I'm on a tomato. Okay. Right, okay, the wooden spoon is in there. 2 fingers. Okay, that's good. We're good to go. But I'm going to add a little more chicken broth because something that my godmother used to do for me when I was little. Now, baby, it's okay. A little bit of veggie juice can stay in. It's just more flavor. My godmother used to add a can of peas and carrots, and that stuck with me. And then I went to a local restaurant in town. It's a chain called Taco Cabana. And they had peas and carrots in their rice, too. And I'm like, well, hey, you know, so now I'm hooked on Taco Cabana rice and my godmother's rice, and I have to learn how to make it on my own when I married Tom. So there you go. Yeah, just add the whole can. What is that? That's a 15-ounce can of peas and carrots. Or you can add, you know, half a can of peas and half a can of carrots. And then, now, I'm going to add a little more broth, just a touch. Because you added those peas in there, and they're going to take up some room. So just put in a splash more. Maybe half a cup, depending on how long you know. Okay, now, I'm going to taste my broth. And at this point, you do not want to stir it anymore. And hold on just a second. Let me taste the broth, and I'll tell you why. Need salt. No, I'm not a lunatic. Trust me on this. Now, you don't want to go overboard. I think total, yeah, recycle that. Total, you're going to want to use maybe 1/8 of a cup of salt. Maybe. That's about right. Now, give yourself a break if you think you put in too much salt and you taste the broth and the broth tastes salty, because right now the rice hasn't puffed up, because you know how rice doubles. When that rice puffs up, it's going to absorb all of that flavor, because remember, it's going to double, and the doubling of the rice is going to eat up all that seasoning, and it will sometimes come out. Sometimes you can't overdo the rice, but that's when it comes in handy to not have salted anything else. But this to me is a science. You never use more than 1/8 of a cup of rice and you can't go wrong. Let's see. And the reason you want like maybe a medium, and then look here, y'all, we're gonna go fancy. Cover the hell out of the pan. The reason you just want to let it go and cook by itself without touching it or stirring it for about 20 minutes. After about 20 minutes, and you can set a timer for that, I'll set it for y'all. You can come back and check it after 20 minutes, and if you find that maybe it does need more broth because you put in extra tomatoes, or maybe you put in some potatoes, or whatever, you know, you can always add more broth at the end to see. But the reason you don't want to really stir it is because when you stir it, it brings out all the starch, and that's how you end up with sticky, gooey, funky rice. And that's what you don't want. This is Mexican rice. It's not sushi rice. You don't want it sticky. And we'll be back when it's close to done. Okay, here we are, we're back. And the timer has gone off. It has been 20 minutes. The rice has almost cooked down. Now, the reason there's still plenty of liquid in there is because we had it covered with our nifty cookie sheets and baking pans. At this point, you can see that the rice is perfect. All the grains are cooked. So, what you're going to want to do at this point is let the broth simmer away just naturally. So, put it on low and just wait. And there you go. All of my broth has reduced away. Well, a majority of it. I would say 99% of it is reduced away. And there you go. Mexican rice. Like at your favorite Mexican restaurant. Now, all you need to do is serve it with some meat and some beans.